Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got an email from a subscriber, and he's writing in asking me my opinion about a situation that went down with his wife about 4 or 5 years ago. You see, about 4 to 5 years ago, on 2 separate occasions, his wife brought up the subject of swinging. It turns out that his wife, how this happens I don't know, happens to have friends that are into the swinging lifestyle, and turns out that according to her, they brought the subject up to her about her and her husband swinging, and so she asked this guy his opinion about the whole thing. And as you can probably imagine, he didn't respond to it too kindly, but this was the time before my channel existed, and probably a lot of channels he watches. And then a year later, guess what? Same thing. So he's asking me, now that he's found my work and other channels like mine, and hearing the stories, what do I think? What do I think about the situation, her, the whole big picture? So I'm going to go through his story here. It's not too long. And then I'm going to go from that point and share my very likely unpopular opinion on this subject. So he says here, Dear SSM, I wanted to get your opinion on a question my wife asked me about 4 to 5 years ago. I didn't think much about it afterwards, but hearing a few of your stories that you and a couple other channels cover about this topic, I wanted to hear what you think. Well, be careful what you wish for, my brother. And I don't know how you didn't think a whole lot of this situation when she asked you these questions back then. But then again, our society has a lot of guys trained to think a certain way. No offense, but you get my point. So here goes. One night I was sitting on my couch, and my wife comes in and tells me that we were propositioned by her swinger friends to hook up with them, and she wanted to know if I was interested. Let me think here. You're interrupting me while I'm watching the playoffs to ask me if I want to share my wife with, what'd you say, swinger friends? Really? No, the answer is no. There's a red flag right away. Well, there's red flag of her asking that question. There's a red flag about her friends. What'd I tell you guys? About who your girl hangs out with, they're going to have an influence on her. Immediately, alarms started going off in my head. I told her that question felt like a trap, some sort of loyalty test. Oh, there was some sort of trap there, dude. She said it wasn't, and I was genuinely curious, if I was interested. It's always a test. The alarms didn't go away. I could see Admiral Akbar from Star Wars saying it's a trap. I started weighing the pros and cons. There are no pros. It is nothing but cons. So what? You nail your wife's friend's wife, who probably isn't that good looking anyway. Pros. It'd be an interesting experience and a story to tell. Cons, too many to list. You're going to risk having your wife hooking up with another dude and his wife just so you can have an interesting story to tell? Really? Yes, way too many cons. I told her I didn't think it was a good idea. That's putting it mildly. She said that she figured it and said that she felt the same way, but wanted to confirm with me. Come on. If you've been married to her, if she's been with you long enough, she ought to know darn well how you're going to react. This was a test. She obviously wanted this, okay? Come on here. If she didn't want this, she would have said something to the effect of, you're not going to believe what such and such brought up or something like that. And even then, that could be a roundabout way of testing this, test the waters to see if you want it. That is a red flag if she's bringing this up. Remember, as the stories about the open relationships, if she's bringing it up, either something's already going on or she already has it planned out and is testing the waters. And that will be proved momentarily. I thought it was good, but I started thinking, why would she even ask me? Ding, ding, ding. She could have shut it down and I would have gone my whole life without knowing this. Was she actually interested? It messed with my head for a few days. I asked some of the guys at work what they would have done. All of them said it would have been a bad idea and don't do it. Well, thank the Lord you had all your coworkers and all giving you this good advice. But I wouldn't have brought that up with coworkers. Because where you work, that's where you build your career or bring home a paycheck. And Lord knows the way gossip can circle about at the workplace. Good Lord. Nothing good will come from it. The only exception was a 24-year-old bachelor. Everyone else was either married, divorced, engaged, or had a long-time girlfriend. They brought up, and there were a lot of what-ifs. What if he was bigger than me? What if my wife developed feelings for one of them? What if one of them becomes obsessed with either one of us, etc.? Yeah. Or what if your wife already is hooking up with them? What if What if your wife already is interested in the guy or the girl or both? He says, check this out, SSM. A few weeks after this question and my wife turned them down, the husband called my wife to ask her for her advice. It turns out swinging wasn't his idea and didn't really want to do it. His wife wanted it. So, number one, he's a weak bitch for going along with this. And two, what's he doing calling your wife? You're married now. No guy should be calling your wife, texting your wife. If you two were all together chatting, that's one thing. But no. And that is a line you don't cross. You're not talking to his wife, and that needs to be addressed. And now he confides to my wife that their marriage isn't doing well. Sounds like this dipshit is trying to get close to her and get her affection and all that. Or maybe this is just an excuse to talk to him, you know? Shortly, lost touch with them, and shortly after. About 1 year later, my wife was propositioned by another couple that she went to high school with. Bro, where the hell do you live that your wife happens to know all these couples that are into the swinging lifestyle? This tells me a whole lot about your wife, no offense. But good Lord. Again, you pay attention to who your girl hangs out with. Like I said before, if she hangs out with a bunch of girls that do the girls' weekends and girls' nights and they cheat on their guys and everything, it's only a matter of time before they're gonna rub off on her. Right here. This is the second time she's bringing this up about the swingers thing. Clearly 2 times. And the first time you said no, and she's bringing it up again to see what you have to say. Clearly something's going on, or at least she wants this. And that is not what you signed up for. She mostly shut it down, but said she would run it by me just in case. I told her the same thing, that I didn't think it was a good idea. I haven't heard any more since and tried to keep an eye open for red flags, but I haven't seen any. So he's obviously, that was the end of his thing, wondering what I think and you guys think. So here's what I think. I think you need to do some serious detective work. I would be hiring a PI at this point to fully investigate her and her friends and everything. Because you said that the first incident was 4 or 5 years ago, and then about a year later, again. It's bad enough the first time, but then again. And does she still hang out with some of these people that engage in this lifestyle? It's not going to work. I wouldn't trust her at all, honestly. To be honest, if she's even bringing this up, I'd be thinking, who are you hooking up with? Or who do you have in mind? And then she's talking to this guy. This is all just, there's too many red flags. There's more red flags than a commie parade, for God's sakes, okay? So you need to do some serious research and detective work. At this point, I'd be on my way out, to be honest with you. Life's too short. And again, she wouldn't have brought this up if she wasn't interested. It didn't pique her interest. And if she has no problem hooking up with other people and serving you on a silver platter to other people, what does that say about how important you are to her? And probably by the second time of her bringing this up and you saying no, made her realize, okay, this is not going to work. And oftentimes when these wives bring this stuff up and these guys don't want to do the open relationship, open marriage, then eventually it's like, well, I brought it up, so they go cheat. So my thing to you is this. Start investigating. Start doing detective work. And you may not like what you find out, but it's better you find out now rather than later. And as I'm sure, because you watch my channel and hear the countless stories either here in this channel or the other channels, as well as other channels, other guys' work, there are patterns. There are patterns to these things, and they're pretty darn on the money all the time. And when these wives bring these things up, kind of testing the waters to see how you feel, say, oh, it's no big deal, I just read some article in Cosmo or some bullshit like that. What they're really doing, they are testing the water to see what you're interested, can they get away with it? And if they think they can't, then they go off and cheat anyway. So start doing some research, man. And if you find something you don't like, or even flat out say, you know what, just things don't add up here, take proper action. End of story. Life is short. Now, you didn't mention you have any kids, and I hope you don't in this situation. I'm assuming maybe you own a house together, and if not, that's easier. But if you find out anything, or hell, even just the fact of her bringing this up, it's time to take action. Because usually, sooner or later, something's going to go down. And even if you can't find anything, and you hire a PI, and he can't find anything, if she's still hanging out with girls like this, do the swinger lifestyle, it's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time where something's going to happen, okay? But even if you don't find anything, time to lay down the law about who she hangs out with, because I'm sure you don't hang out with people that engage in this type of lifestyle and all that. But then again, men are not susceptible to pressure and doing these boneheaded things that a lot of women do. It's certainly been proven through the stories I've covered, etc., etc. So, bro, that's what I think. I would definitely be doing my homework, and I'd be doing detective work. Leave no rock unturned. I hope I'm wrong, but you never know. So, guys, those of you who are watching this, please comment below. Let him know what you think. Let him know that he should, if you think he should start doing his homework and follow my advice, or just let it go. No big deal. I'm willing to bet you 99.9% will agree with me, but we shall see. So, bro, I wish you the best. Keep me posted. All right, guys, that is it for today. You know to comment down below. And, guys, if you got a good question you want to ask me, definitely email me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just put Ask SSM in the title, and we'll go from there. And also, you got a good story to share, definitely email me as well, and I'll cover it if it's a good one. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.